What if I told you your brand new startup could qualify for up to $50,000 to $100,000 in unsecured capital at 0% interest rate? Yes, you heard me right. $50,000 to $100,000 for startup businesses at 0% interest rate. And what I'm talking about is business credit cards. So let's talk about it. My name is Brian Otieno. I'm the founder of Pennington Consulting Group, and over the years we've helped thousands and thousands of entrepreneurs just like yourself start, grow, and expand their businesses. And on this video today, I want to talk about business credit cards. And I'm not talking about personal credit cards. Let's make a clear distinction from business credit cards and personal credit cards. Just like there's personal credit cards, there's also business credit cards. Business credit cards do not report on your personal credit. They only report on the business credit. So they also help build business credit. And of course, personal credit cards do report on your personal credit. And this all has to do with your personal credit. What I want to talk about today is business credit cards. And as I mentioned today, one of the best ways you can actually quickly fund your business within a matter of days. There's limited verification that's required. There's no income verification. There's no time in business that is required for business credit cards. Simply all you need is good personal credit in order for you to qualify. So what I want to cover on this video is a few things. Number one, the minimum criteria to qualify. Number two, some of the benefits that you'll get from having business credit cards, and just some of the hidden secrets and how you can actually apply for these credit cards. So let's go ahead and get started on this video. So real quickly, let's talk about the minimum criteria to qualify for business credit cards. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this is designed for startup businesses. So assuming that number one, you've already established your LLC, you've gotten your EIN number, and you do have your business checking account. This is the bare minimum that you need. And if you need some instructions on how to do that, you can definitely look for another video that I talk about how you can get your LLC set up and get your corporation started. Now, once you've got that set up, given the fact that this is a brand new business, it clearly does not have any business history at all, okay? So what lenders look for in order for you to qualify for these business credit cards, they look at your personal credit. They want to make sure the owner's personal credit, so that's you. They want to make sure that you've been able to handle revolving accounts in the past. Much emphasis is on the revolving accounts. But there's four factors, as I usually say, that they look for in order for you to qualify for these business credit cards. Number one, they look at negative items on your personal credit card. They want to make sure that you pay your bills on time. That's simply as that. Late collections, charge-off, bankruptcy, tax liens, judgments. These are the things that they're looking for. And what I always say is, depending on how much money you're looking for and how much effect the negative item has on your credit report, this will determine if you can go ahead and qualify or if you need to make the necessary adjustments before you can apply for a business credit card. So that's factor number one, derogatory items. Factor number two is utilization percentage. Now this is important because this is really key. Utilization is balances in relation to limits on all open revolving accounts. Let me repeat that again. Balances in relation to limits on all open revolving accounts. So for example, if you have a Capital One credit card with a $1,000 limit and a $500 balance, that means you're 50% utilized. Lenders tend to want you to not be over your limit or too much into your limit when you're applying for credit. So what I always say is make sure your balances are less than 30% of what the available limit is. So on this example that we're talking about here, if you have a $1,000 limit on your Capital One credit card, you want to make sure that balance is less than $300 in order for you to maximize on the approvals when it comes to business credit cards. So that's factor number two. They look at your utilization percentage. And I want to make a key note here that they look at all your revolving accounts. So they'll take a total of all your limits and they'll take a total of all your balances and determine the utilization percentage of all the accounts that you have on your personal credit. So that's the second factor. The third factor is age of file. They tend to want somebody to have at least a minimum of 5-year age of file, meaning that the oldest account reporting on your credit profile needs to be at least 5 years old. So that's the third factor that they look for in order for you to make sure that you qualify. The last factor is inquiries. And this kind of goes back to that old joke that I always say. Banks only lend money to people who don't look like they need money. So if you have a lot of inquiries on your file, especially a lot of recent inquiries, this is not going to look well for you. So again, just to summarize, what is the minimum criteria you need to know in order for you to qualify for business credit cards? What do the lenders look for in order to determine if you can qualify for business credit cards? So let's just summarize them together. 1, negative items or derogatory items. 2, utilization. 3, age of file. And number 4, inquiries. These are the 4 things lenders are going to be looking for in order to pre-qualify you for unsecured credit lines or for business credit cards. So now, let's briefly talk a little bit about some of the benefits of having unsecured credit lines. Because I mean, in my opinion, I believe every business needs to have unsecured credit lines, especially when you're a startup business. Because again, clearly, there's not many funding options that are available for you, but this is a very fast and quick way to get you funded. So one of the benefits that I would say is limited documentation. There is no time in business that is required. There is no income documentation that is required. There's no bank statements. There's no tax returns. There's none of that. You also don't have to put any collateral down. So as far as qualifying criteria, I mean, literally, all you need to have is a decent personal credit in order for you to qualify for these business credit cards. Now, another benefit, in addition to how the simplicity of qualifying for these lines is, number 2, is you only pay on the amount used, okay? Unlike a loan, most people that they starting their business, they're not even sure yet how much money they need. So I always advise them, don't get a loan. You want to rather get an unsecured line of credit, because a line of credit, let's just say you have for $25,000 or $50,000. Let's just say the first month you tap into $5,000 or $7,000 of that. You only pay on that amount. Unlike a loan, if you borrow a $30,000 or $50,000 loan, the interest, the payments are due every first of the month, regardless if you use the money or not. Even if the money is just sitting into your bank account, the interest and principal are due on the first of every month and every single month. And let's just say, for example, you use the money and you pay it down, or at least you pay off the loan. You don't have access to that money that you pay back. Unlike a line of credit, which acts just like a credit card, but this is a business credit card. Once you pay it down, you can use it again. You pay it down, use it again. So you have what I call continuous access. And again, very beneficial, especially when you're talking about a startup business. As I said, you're not really sure as to how much money you need. You do need the flexibility of having access to capital. And actually, the icing on the cake, I can't believe I almost forgot about this. Majority of the startup businesses program that are out there have 0% interest for the first 6 months. Some of the lenders will extend that up to even 12 months. I've even heard of some lenders going up to 18 months. So now just listen to what I just said. You can qualify for $50,000 to $100,000 in unsecured capital for your business. You don't have to put no collateral down. There's no income documentation that's required, no tax return, no bank statements, none of that. In addition to that, this line of credit will not report on your personal credit, will only report on your business credit. You only pay on the amount used, and you have 0% interest for the first 6 months. I mean, where can you get such a product as it pertains to you starting a business? I hope you appreciate some of this content that I'm dishing out, and I hope you've learned something new about unsecured credit lines for your business or business credit cards. It's basically the same thing, and I hope you learned the minimum criteria and some of the benefits for unsecured credit lines. And as I said, I don't think any business out there, especially a startup business, needs to go ahead and get the business started without having business credit lines. Now, I did write a book, 3 Paths to Lending, that I cover a little bit more about business credit lines and some of the different options that you have as far as you funding your business. I cover the 3 different ways and how you can fund your business. In that book, I talk about the minimum criteria, what the lender is looking for, how the underwriting process goes, fees, and everything that you really need to know. And I'm actually giving that book out for free. So if you click that link below, you'll be able to get a copy of my book for free. Now again, I do want to appreciate for you spending some time with us today. If this content is some content that you want to see a little bit more of this, please like this video. Please click subscribe. And if you do have some opinions on what you want me to cover in the future, do drop a comment below. Thank you very much, and I'll see you soon.